So that's just an example of my dividends. You could do the same thing too. So this, let me just be clear. This 1892 is free money that they gave me for owning the share. All right. This 1736 is free money that they gave me for owning the share. It's time for the money talk, man. We gotta get some money. Yo, what's happening? It's your man OG Bo Beats TV. Come to you today with another special video. What's good? What's happening, YouTube? It's your man OG Bo Beats, and I'm back with another video for you today. Today, I want to talk to you about dividend stocks once again, but not just dividend stocks. I want to talk to you. I'm gonna break it down on what they are, how you do it, give you some examples of what I'm doing, and I'm gonna talk to you about why it's so important that we start investing as a culture instead of some of the other things that we invest our time and resources in. So we're gonna get into that and a lot of other things, man. I'm gonna break it down for you, hopefully Barney style, you know what I'm saying? And that's no disrespect to anybody, but I want everybody to understand and learn what it is that I'm talking about. So before we get into it, make sure if you haven't already, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'm definitely gonna need you to share the video, leave comments, ask questions, so I can answer them and we can have a dialogue about this situation. So last month or so, maybe a couple months ago now, I dropped a video about dividend stocks, and I really want people to understand what they are. I had a talk with a few people that I know, and they didn't know anything about dividend stocks. So I want today to re-explain it, and hopefully this video gets viewed by a few people, so we can get to it. But before we do that, I want to pull up an article and some stats and some information and talk to you about wealth, generational wealth, and some ways that we can get it. All right, so let's get into that. All right, so boom, check it out. So right here you can see we have a list right here. This came from Forbes.com, Forbes magazine. You know, that's the money magazine that everybody knows about. So February 18, 2022, last year, but this still applies. It's actually been applying for quite some time now. We got the 5 things that people need to do to generate wealth, right? AKA black people need to do to generate wealth, generational wealth. All right. So the first thing and the most important thing is financial education. Definitely something that a lot of people don't know about. A lot of people didn't grow up in the household talking about money. We knew how to make it, we knew how to spend it, possibly save it, but that was about it. So ask the average person that I know in my age group about certain things, whether it's taxes, whether it's real estate, whether it's the stock market. People are pretty clueless, or they'll tell you just whatever somebody else told them. All right, number 2, investing. All right, that's kind of what we're going to talk about here today. Very important thing. I think people should spend more time researching and learning, talking about investing, talk about it with your kids, with your parents. It's never too late for anybody to start investing. And there's a lot of information out there now on the internet and just, all kind of places, books and everything. All right, number 3, invest in real estate. Another big thing. Grew up paying rent. Everybody around me was paying rent. I had a few family members that owned homes, and I never understood it. It was a time when I just thought owning a home wasn't even a thing for people like me. So that's a big one, and it's a mind thing and a psychological thing is the reason why people don't own homes and invest in real estate. Then you also got real estate, flipping houses and different things like that too. That's very lucrative. Savings and creating a business. Obviously, you need to save money, but you got to know what to do with it. You can't just save money and just sit there and let it not gain any interest or do anything with it. I know some friends and some people that have quite a bit of money, but it's just sitting there and not doing nothing. And I keep asking them, like, what are they gonna do with it? But it's their money, so I can't tell them what to do. Creating a business, we need to own something. All right. Look at the Fortune 500, top 100, whatever, and you're not gonna see a lot of people that look like me as the CEOs of a lot of these businesses out here. Life insurance. Life insurance. All right, so life insurance takes the burden off your children. Big situation right there. A lot of deaths in the black community, right? Whether it's shootings, sickness, whatever reasons, domestic violence, whatever reason. Then you see the GoFundMe page. Then you see the fish fry. Then you see the taco dinner. All right, people don't have life insurance. Think about it. Life insurance pays you money for the funeral, and then it may pay you some money that you can actually use and do something with. So life insurance is a very important thing that we need to have. All right, I'm gonna read y'all this quote that came out of this article too. All right, so check this out. This is from the Forbes.com. All right, article about generating generational wealth. It says already things are looking up, according to Ariel Schwab Black Investor Survey conducted in 2020. Only 10% of Black Americans discussed the stock market while growing up. At the time of the study, it stood at 37%, a significant improvement. If this trend is sustained, the generational wealth issue could be resolved once and for all. Solving this problem might take time, but it is achievable with tips from the next article and series on how to pass down generational wealth created. So, according to the article, only 10% of Black Americans discuss the stock market while growing up. I can attest to that. I'm one of those 10%. I'm one of the 90% who didn't discuss it. And most people around me didn't discuss it. I can't think of one person that discussed it. What I can tell you is I do remember looking at the newspaper as a little kid and seeing the stock market section back in the day and always being curious about what it was, but that's about as far as it went. I didn't even really start getting into it and thinking about it till probably my late 20s, early 30s, and even then it was just the thoughts. I didn't really dive into it and really get going like I'm doing now. I just wanted to give y'all that little bit of information right there because that's very astounding fact that I believe is 100% true. Stock market education, man. Dividend stocks. Let's talk about dividend stocks. All right, so what are dividends? All right. Dividends are the distribution of a part of a company's profits to shareholders. It is most commonly paid in cash and goes directly into the shareholder's brokerage account. Dividends are paid per share and have to be approved by a company's board of directors and its shareholders with voting rights. So dividends, people don't even know what that is. A lot of people don't understand what it is. That's the definition. So it is very simple. If you invest in certain stock on the stock market, right, on your Robinhood app, on your Webull app, on your TD Ameritrade app, you buy certain stocks. Certain stocks pay you just for owning those stocks. Okay, so we're gonna get into it, and I got a few more good examples that maybe will make it make sense, but that's the definition right there on paper and in my own words. All right, so here's the process for dividends right here. All right, so number one, we're the investor. All right, we purchase one or more shares of a dividend-paying company. So dividend-paying is important. The company must pay dividends, and that's actually easy to look up. You could just look it up. It's websites you can look and Google what company pays dividends or whatever the case may be, or the company that you want to invest in, and you can look up and see if they pay dividends. All right, number two, company evaluates performance at the end of the quarter. Okay, that's on the company. Company may declare and announce a dividend payment. Okay, you'll know that. If you're invested in dividend stocks, you would assume that that's going to happen. All right, company announces the dividend amount and the dividend date. So they're going to tell you how much they're going to pay you and when you're going to get paid. Number five, investor is paid the stated dividend for each share they own. So that means you or me is going to get paid for holding on to these shares. You're going to get paid a dividend. All right. So, benefits of dividend stocks. Let's check this out. So, for the investor, which is you or me, it's predictable income. So, this amount of money that you're going to get paid is extra money aside from you just owning the share. Okay. So, It's gonna come on a specific date. You'll know that date. You can look that date up, and it's predictable. All right. Reduce risk. All right. You invest in these dividend shares. They're generally less risky as far as losing and gaining capital gain, meaning the total amount of the actual shares that you bought. Profit without selling. So you will make money without actually having to sell the shares that you own. So if you own 100 shares, you're going to get paid the dividend for owning 100 shares, and you're going to make money while still owning those 100 shares. All right. Benefits of the company, for the company. Investor loyalty increase. That's you and me saying, hey, I really like this company. They're paying dividends. I'm going to continue to invest and hold my shares. Stock price boost. The company's doing good. They got people holding on to the shares. The price of the stock will eventually go up in most cases. All right, and good use for extra cash. So they have extra cash at these companies, and they're willing to pay because they know we're going to be a loyal customer. All right. So here's a dividend calendar. So let's talk about this. So when are dividends paid? Some dividends are paid monthly. Most I think are paid quarterly. However, if you invest in enough of the right stocks, that pay dividends is actually a way to get paid every single month. Because even if it's paid quarterly, each company pays at different times of the calendar year quarterly. So an example, Nike pays in January, April, June, October. If you invest in Apple, they pay dividends in February, all right, May, August, and November. If you invest in 3M, they pay in March, June, September, and December. If you invest in FedEx, they pay in April, July, October. So, you pretty much get it, but that's a way to know when the dividend shares is going to pay out. And once you get going and you realize how good of a situation this can be, how lucrative this can be, you can actually do just that, and you can get paid dividends every month, which if you do it for long enough and you put enough money into it, it could be a lot of money, which is passive income for you just holding the shares. All right. So, here goes an example of dividends right here for you. All right. A shareholder of a dividend paying company receives a dividend per share, like I told you. For example, if an investor has 50 shares of Apple, so if you have 50 shares of Apple and the company of Apple pays $1 in cash dividends per year, the investor receives $50 per year. All right. The money goes straight into your brokerage account. So brokerage account is just the account that you have with the trading platform you use. If you're using the Robinhood on the phone or Webull or whatever, that's going to be the money that goes into that account. All right. Ex-dividend date. This is a very important date right here. So the ex-dividend date, the most important date for investors who wish to receive a company's dividend. You need to own the stock by this date to receive the declared dividend. If you buy the stock on or after this date, you're not eligible to receive the dividend. So this is just telling you the cutoff date that you need to have a certain amount of or any of the shares to receive the dividend. So basically, if you wanted to load up and get paid more money for owning the shares, you have to buy more shares by that dividend date. You can't buy it on the date. But then again, this is gonna reset. So if you got monthly and the dividend date is always on the 15th, you just got to buy more shares by the 14th. And after the 15th, it's gonna calculate what you had, and then boom, you're gonna get paid. And then you can continue to buy more shares or whatever, but you're gonna continue to get paid. It's just that if you're looking for a specific payout for the next payout, then you have to buy it by the ex-dividend date. All right. So this is just something I wanted to show y'all. 3 top stocks of the rich. All right, so we got 4 very rich, powerful people in the investing world right here. So Warren Buffett, philanthropist, billionaire, CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, whatever the case, right? He has 109 billion in Apple stock. He has $24 billion in Bank of America and $20 billion in Coca-Cola. Now let me explain something to you. Those companies pay dividends. So imagine having that many shares or amount and getting paid dividends for those companies. That's how they work. That's one of the reasons that these people are so rich. Kathy Wood, CEO of ARK Invest, she has Tesla and other companies. Bill Gates, Microsoft, he got Berkshire Hathaway, Waste Management. And then you got Bill Ackman, another hedge fund investor billionaire. He's got a lot of money in Lowe's, $2 billion in Lowe's, $1.4 billion in Chipotle. Again, dividend paying companies. All right, so you wonder why people are so rich, how they continue to stay rich and get rich. Well, one thing that these people have in common, other than race, is that they're all old or older. And they've been doing this for a long time. So again, one of the best things that you could do to start generating wealth is just simply start investing. All right. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take you to one of my actual dividend plays on Robinhood, right? And let's pull it up. Okay, so I have a stock on Robinhood called PFLT. Pennant Park Floating Rate is the actual name. So we're going to go through and I'm going to show you how this looks on Robinhood. So PFLT currently is trading for $11.01, and this is from close on Friday. So this is the most updated information. All right. So market value for me, right? I currently have $2,863 in PFLT. All right. Friday I went up 0.27%, which is $7.73. Total return, I'm down $36 with 1.5%, which is not bad because I was just up like 70, 80 bucks. So it fluctuates. I could care less about it being up or down a little bit because this stock is for dividends. All right, so average cost is $11.15. So as you saw before, the actual current cost is $11.01, but this stock does fluctuate a little bit. I'm gonna talk about that in a second. So the average price I paid is $11.15, and I actually have 260 shares of this dividend stock right now. All right, so 39% of my portfolio because I don't have much in Robinhood. All right, so reoccurring investment. I have a reoccurring investment for this stock, which basically I just buy one share a week because I'm getting the dividends, and the dividends is reinvested in buying more shares. I'm gonna talk about that in a second too. But I have a reoccurring investment set up. This is one of the most easiest ways you can set yourself up for success. Is set up a reoccurring investment on whatever stock you choose to invest in. That way you don't have to decide, what you're doing, and you can adjust your money on how you spend it after you've, taken that reoccurring investment out. All right. So here go a little bit of statistics about PFLT. So Pennant Park Floating Rate Capital Ltd, a traded fund, invested in middle market companies located in the United States. It targets companies operating across the board, a broad range of sectors. So basically this company invests in middle market companies, not the huge companies and not the small business companies, but middle market companies. That's what this PFLT does. All right, you got the CEO, headquarters in New York, started in 2007. All right, market cap for this company is about $500 million. It's not a big company at all. 547 million, small company. And you got some of these other things, price earnings ratio. I'm not going to talk about that right now. Dividend yield, that's another video. So average volume, how many people buy and sell on average in a day. All right, you got about 1 million people. So for Friday, the high on this stock was $11.08. That means it went up to $11.08. The low that day was $10.97, and it opened up at $11.03, and the actual volume was 336,000. So the volume was a little low on Friday. All right, so the 52-week high, this is very important. So in the last year, this stock that is currently $11.01 at one point was $14.38. And then the 52-week low, 9.43, just means that at one point this stock was $9.43. So that's a pretty small gap of volatility, meaning that it didn't go all the way up to $50 and then drop all the way down. It's staying within a range of like $4 or $5. All right. All right, so now next you have the analyst rating. So if you don't know what that is, that's basically, it's a group of smart people, supposedly, that tell you what they think you should do with this stock. All right, so on the buy side, you got 33%, which isn't bad. Hold side, you got 66%, which is a lot. All right, so that's telling you if you do own the stock, hold on to it, don't do nothing, don't sell it, just hold on to it. And then on the sell side, you got 0. So they're basically saying if you have this stock, do not sell it, and you should buy some more. All right, it's a dividend paying stock. Why not? All right, so next, I'm going to show you my last 2 dividend payouts for this stock. All right, so back in January, okay, as you can see on the bottom, I actually got a payout of $17.36, and you can see it was reinvested. So I have this thing set up on my Robinhood called DRIP, which is dividend reinvest, right? Basically, so whenever it pays me the dividend, goes into my brokerage account, but then it just buys more of that same stock. All right, so as you can see on top, it shows that it bought 1.5 shares at $11.23 using that $17.36. So basically every month, the money that I make in dividend is going right back into the share, and eventually, you know, it's going to snowball and snowball and snowball. I don't have to do much, just sit back and let it reinvest. Plus, I got the extra 4 shares I'm buying monthly just to throw something on top. So by the end of the year, that number will probably be $25, $30, hopefully. All right, and then this is just what happened just recently in February. That $17.36 went up to $18.92, which got reinvested into 1.7 shares at $11.04. All right, I can tell you that my next payout is going to be in the $24, $25 range. All right, so that's just an example of my dividends. You could do the same thing too. So this, let me just be clear. This $18.92 is free money that they gave me for owning the share. All right. This $17.36 is free money that they gave me for owning the share. All right. So just wanted to go over this with y'all, man. Hopefully, you know, I taught somebody something on this. If you got any questions, make sure you leave a comment down below. You know, this matters because when you look on the news and you look on social media, you see so many people doing these petty crimes, going to jail, going to prison, for crimes that are not worth the risk. All right, low reward, high risk crimes, robbing, scamming, selling drugs, PPP loans, all of this stuff right here equals time in jail, which that same time you spend in jail, 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 20 years, you could be doing this right here, right? In 20 years, imagine using dividend stocks, reinvesting, and just sitting back and watching your money grow. That's how you build generational wealth. That's one of the ways, one of the key ways. So I just want people to know about this because I know a lot of people don't. Like I said, make sure you tell your family, tell your friends, share the video, like the video. It's your man OG Bo Beats, and I'm out. Peace.